In this module, we're beginning to look at access tools and learning how to use, for example, online catalogs. You're going to be introduced to the GIL-Find Catalog, which is the catalog software program that we use for the CSU libraries. This unit is going to allow you, or it's going to ask you to incorporate the research process and to learn how to incorporate Boolean terminology when you're beginning to research in the online catalog. And of course, in this module unit, there is another refresher or another presentation you're going to get on using Boolean terms. That's the and, or, not. So to get started, we're going to segue to the library homepage, which you should be familiar at this point. If you looked at this tutorial, if you reviewed it for the Exploring CSU Libraries and also accessing and activating your online library account, you know that we're starting with the CSU homepage. From there, we're going to go to Academics and go to Libraries. In order to access this resource, the GIL-Find Catalog, if you go to the blue box here, this is the GIL-Find Catalog link here. You can also access it over here in Resources to the left, GIL-Find Catalog. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to access this catalog. And I must say, for the assignments that you're going to have for this unit, it's so important. I'm noticing a lot of students are just digging in, they pull up the assignments, and then you go from there. Please review this tutorial and review the content for this module, and really you should be doing that for all of the units for this course. But in order to get started with this particular access tool, access tools allow you to access information resources. The CSU online catalog, and a lot of libraries have them, whether they're public libraries, whether they're university libraries, and so forth. They allow you to access information resources available for a particular library. And for our library, you can see this is basically an inventory database of what we have in the CSU libraries. I must also point out that each public university and college institution in the state of Georgia, we all use the same platform. All of our online catalogs are called GIL-Find. The only thing that's different are the different collections from institution to institution, and of course, you'll see the logo for the university here. But we all use the same software program, so all of the different pages look the same. To get started, if you review the content, the PowerPoint presentation for access tools, we talked a little bit about access points. So in the search box here, before we get started with searching, I want to show you some of the ways you can use access points to find what you're looking for. This all fields box here, we're going to click the drop down menu. You should be able to identify some of the access points. We can do a title search, whether it's the title of a book or a DVD or a course reserve. You can also, if you're looking for the title of a newspaper or a magazine or journal, you want to see if we own it at the CSU libraries, you can choose journal title to get to that. Also, we know that author is an access point, as well as subject. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some sample searching, and in a little bit we're also going to play with our Boolean terms to construct search statements. But let's go ahead and do a simple access point search. We know the title of a book we're looking for, so we're going to choose title. And I have a book in mind, House of Stone. I'm using the access point of title. I'm going to choose find. And right here it's showing us a few options. Now I'm looking at the different titles, but I know this first one is exactly what I'm looking for. House of Stone, A Memoir of Home, Family, and a Lost Middle East by Anthony Shadid. If you look here, this is the brief record. So when you do an initial search and you pull up a list of results, you are getting the brief view of the book. You get the title, the author, we get a call number, and also a publisher date, and of course a location legend here that you can use to determine what floor it's on in the library. Also, most importantly, now this is not an access point, this is just showing you the status of whether that book is checked out. If it were, you would get a due date here, and it would let you know that the book is not available. However, hearkening back to our previous module where we talked about classification systems, this call number here scheme that we're using, this is a Library of Congress call number. If we look here, this begins with an HQ, and again, that denotes a particular subject area concerning the Library of Congress call number system. So if we look here at this HQ, we go over here. For the results you pull up, if you look to the left here, it'll let you know which subject areas, according to the Library of Congress call number system, that you've pulled up. So we have an H call number here, and H denotes the social sciences. Just looking briefly at some of our other results here, look at this call number. This is not a Library of Congress call number. This is a government document classification. And as we show here, you can get that indication by seeing here that it's in our government documents collection on the first floor. We have below an N call number, NA. That lets us know we have N's here, fine arts, and so forth. But to get a deeper view, actually, before we go into record, I want to do another search. So we're going to go up to the top. We can also conduct another search by accessing this same title by another access point. We're going to do an author search. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to clear the search box. I'm going to choose the access point author. I'm going to put in his name. Put in Shadid Anthony. Last name, comma, first name. And because this access point is tied to this same resource, we pull up this record as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get a full view of this record, and we're going to click the title of the book here. And we're going to get a full view of the record, and there's a lot of information you're going to find in the catalog concerning this resource. Okay, again, we get our citation information. You should be able to identify that by now. It's not formatted, but we just get the basics. Title, author, who published it, what year it was published, and so forth. We get that information here. Also at the bottom, if depending on how many copies we have, for this particular book, we have 8 copies. Okay, however, we get the call number listed here, and of course the status. For the full view, we also get the subject areas related to this particular book. Again, the subject related to a particular title is also considered an access point. So if we were to conduct another type of search, doing a subject search, we can access this book as well. As a matter of fact, we're going to do that. We're going to go back up to all fields, and I want to do a search. We're going to use a Boolean term. Let's say families and Lebanon. And we're going to choose the access point subject. Choose find. Within the list of results, this book comes up again. Now, if we had other books in the library pertaining to this topic, other books will come up in that list. Going back to the full view, I want to show you some other features that are very important. As you see here in the tabs below, next to the holdings record, we can go to the table of contents. And for this book, we will get the table of contents found in this actual book. This can be helpful for you to help you evaluate whether this is a book that's kind of related or relevant for your research. That's important. Also up here in the Google preview, we also have, okay, so again, what we're going to do, we're going to also access some other features here in the record. So we've looked at the table of contents. Also, if you notice here a Google preview, you won't find it for every record, but it will be available for some. If you click this Google preview, this will allow you to look at a few pages within the book to also give you another indication of if you really want to go to the stacks to grab this book. And you find this with Amazon as well too. But if you go down here, you will have access to so many pages within the book listed here. So if we scroll up here, this is actually the beginning of this book, the first few chapters, the introduction, and that can be helpful. Now, also, similar items. This can be important too. You know, when you're in Amazon, and if you look at a particular item, or if you purchase a particular product, they will say, you might also be interested in this. I love this feature because it's really relevant to the particular search you've done to pull up this particular record for this book. Always look for this. So if you look for other books that are similar to the subject matter here, look at the similar items, and it does a really good job too. So that can be useful too. It gives you 5 books that are relevant. Also, before we end here, I want to bring your attention to some items at the very top here. We have print this. Of course, you can print this, but a lot of you may find this useful, the Cite This feature. If we click Cite This, it will take the citation information for this item and it will give you the citation variations for APA and for MLA, the latest editions. Okay. Now, you can copy and paste this into your bibliography if you're going to use this for your research, but pay attention to the warning here. When you copy and paste it, you still may have to do some cleanup, so please refer to the handbooks to be sure everything's where it's supposed to be. Whatever's italicized needs to be italicized and so forth. But the Cite This feature is very good. You can also text this record to your cell phone. If you don't have time to come to the library right away, you just might want to text some records to your phone, put in your phone number, choose your carrier. Okay, there's even Cricket and Metro PCS. Also, of course, you can email this record to any email account. And of course, export this record if you want to a jump drive. Okay. Also, what I do before we finish here, I want to go back and conduct an advanced search. Because I also want to talk about, in the research process, we talked about Boolean terms, which are very important. And this is why Boolean terms are important. When we conduct a search, we can layer our search and think of terms that are related or synonymous with our topic. And I'll give you a simple example. You already know how to do this, but you need to call on this search technique and strategy to make your research more efficient. So you're not spending a lot of time trying to find what you're looking for. So let's do a sample search here. We're going to say teenagers, and we get our Boolean field here, and, or, and not, and let's say depression. What you have here below, you can limit your search a lot of other ways. We're not going to go into this because it is very self-explanatory if you ever need to do that. But for the purpose of this example, we're going into Boolean terms. So our search statement is teenagers and depression. So let's choose find and let's see what kind of results we come up with. Okay, we have 26 results. Again, pay attention to the left field here. That will help you. But also the suggested topics box. This is what happens when you do a keyword search or a subject search. If I click this more box, this will give me subject terms that are related to the results that I've pulled up. This will help me to actually pinpoint what I'm looking for concerning my search. So there are 4 books concerning behavior modification, grief therapy, suicidal behavior. Out of the list of 26, 4 are related to this particular topic. I can click this hyperlink here and get directly to those results here instead of scrolling down and going page by page trying to figure out what these books are about. But most importantly, I want to do another search. Always think about terms that are synonymous and related. So another term for teenagers would be adolescents or young adults. Let's do that search again. Adolescents and depression. And let's see what happens there. Because a lot of times if you use the same term, you might be missing out on other results that are available. So we have adolescence and depression. If we choose find, we see that we pull up 56 results. Now, some of these results may also have the term teenagers, but we've also either pulled up those results in combination or a new set of 56 results that only use the term adolescents. So you don't want to miss out on your research. So we've pulled up 56. This is the same type of research, okay? If we go here again to the suggested topics box, click that. You get other terms that are related to the results you've pulled up. What I also like about this suggested topics box is I can take these terms and use them to create more search terms. Okay. Now, before we end this brief video, I want to show you another feature of another way Boolean terms are used. Let's say we wanted to do research on bipolar disorder. I want to use the term or. Or is great to use with terms that mean the same thing. So if I consult an encyclopedia, a subject encyclopedia concerning mental illnesses or mental diseases, when I look at bipolar disorder, I also notice that manic depression is the same thing. So I'm covering my bases. and I can conduct that search and pull up my resources.